My people, I don't bust out again. Make sure say una share this video as when they watch them, because it don't happen for Tinubu life again. This one, they say Tinubu son uses Yahoo money to purchase house that worth 11 million pounds in UK. This information there for public domain. Even Bloomberg, foreign newspaper carry them. As they talk to you right now, they say the Nigerian government now then do the investigation. They find out say the money where they use purchase the house now fraudulent money for UK. Now what did they talk now? This Tinubu son, where would they talk about there 37 years? His name no Oluwaseyi Tinubu. And make una share this video. Make people know the kind family where we want to make them beat our president. Share and make it reach Tinubu supporters. Make it reach APC them. People who want to force Tinubu to us, share this video so that they will watch them.
Running for public office means that you will be subjected to public scrutiny. As the name implies, it means your background, your finances, even your family ties. Nothing is really off the table when it comes to running for public office. And Nigerians today woke up to a story published by Bloomberg detailing how Aranda Overseas Corp, which is a company belonging to Seyi Tinubu, the son of the president-elect Bola Tinubu, is said to have purchased a London mansion, which the Nigerian government had tried to seize as property bought with the proceeds of crime. Well, according to the report, he bought the property for $10.8 million. It's about £9 million through the company in which he has majority shares in 2017. And the details of the company is publicly available on the UK government's website. And the property is said to have previously belonged to Mr. Kolaole Aluko, whom the federal government, under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, has accused of billions of naira worth of fraud and of buying the mansion with embezzled funds. So this story has gotten a lot of Nigerians, even people outside of Nigeria, talking about the case, especially because it is coming less than a month to the inauguration of the president-elect. Well, Channels Television has reached out to Mr. Seyi Tinubu and the spokespersons of the president-elect, as well as the EFCC, but we're yet to get a response. But let's get some learned opinion on this, just to sort of give you an insight into what we're dealing with here. We're joined on the program by a legal practitioner, Mr. Dapo Otitoju, who joins us virtually from the nation's capital, Abuja. Well, good evening and thank you for joining us on the program. Well, we'll try to make do with the picture quality, but just to get to the heart of the matter. Like a lot of Nigerians, you've seen this report, and I wonder for you, what are the issues at stake here?
Can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, I can. Good evening. Please go ahead.
Yes, this allegation is still not confirmed, still an allegation. And I will want us to also look at the fact that Seyi Tinubu is an individual, the company in which Blue Bond, it's a company that we know that also into business of various whatever business you think they are entitled to also work on. But be that as it may, I believe that every individual have a right to acquire properties as the demands may come to them. Now, looking at the issue at stake, just because Seyi Tinubu is the son of the president-elect, does not mean that he does not have a right to acquire property. He is not the president-elect, and neither has he also assumed position in Nigeria. So now think of the fact that in the oil sector, Seyi Tinubu is somebody who has made money from various businesses, and so he has rights as an individual to acquire property. So are we saying that if a president, if the father is a president, he himself does not have the right to acquire property from his own business, from his own resources? By our standards, the rule is not a poor man. And as such, if he has a property that he owns.
Okay, well, looks like we lost connection with you there for a moment, Mr. Otitoju, but if you're still there, looking at the details of the company, Aranda Overseas Corporation, which, as I said, is publicly available on the company's house website of the UK government. It says the country of incorporation, the British Virgin Islands, puts the address. Essentially, puts details of the company, which is in reference here by the Bloomberg report. And I wonder for you as well, a lot of people are raising the moral question as to, I mean, $11 million, $10.8 million, we can round it off to that. A lot of people are asking the moral question that, I mean, that is a huge sum of money, isn't it?
Yes, I am. You know, like I said, if you look at the status of Tinubu in the society, apart from being the son of the president-elect, Tinubu is not a poor man. Tinubu, by all standards, has worked and has earned his money. Looking at how much you are talking about, it is not for it is for the company. You are talking about Bloomberg being the purchaser of the property. It is still an allegation, as I earlier said. But whatever it is, we as an individual, we are entitled to our right to purchase property as long as the Constitution of Nigeria allows you to have rights to immovable property. Tinubu is a Nigerian. He can acquire property, let alone property that was acquired abroad. And what the problem is, you are not blaming Tinubu. You are saying Bloomberg. Bloomberg is a company. Tinubu is, is the CEO of the company. So you have to be able to separate Tinubu from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not even assumed office, let alone now maybe making the rounds that it is a process of corruption. So I don't agree with those who are talking about the fact that the money is huge, 11 million US dollar, pounds. As long as Tinubu is an individual, he has worked, he's still working, and he can acquire property as much as he can. So long as there's no linkage of the Nigerian resources for him, he has not held any public office. He's not the governor. He's not the deputy governor. He's not holding any elective or public office. He's a businessman. So I believe that we should stop this making round and concentrate on better things.
Well, it's interesting you say that that's not a huge sum of money for a lot of people. That is huge, and I imagine for a majority of people. But another issue at stake here. So Bloomberg published that report. The company in question is Aranda Overseas Corporation. But another major issue is the fact that the Nigerian government under President Muhammadu Buhari had actually tried to seize that property, saying it was bought with proceeds of crime, and it's the same property in question that is said to have been purchased by Aranda Corporation. And I'd like to speak to this question of due diligence, because the report out there is also saying that, well, that property was under mortgage anyway, so it was maybe reclaimed by the bank and eventually bought. So does that speak to maybe the due diligence that was done by the anti-graft agency which sought to seize this property in the first place?
Now, you see, when you talk about mortgage, the mortgage system is totally different from what you are talking about. Now, in mortgage outside Nigeria, mortgage system is totally different from outright purchase, which we normally do here in Nigeria. Now, looking at what you just said, a property that was seized from Aluko and the former Minister for Petroleum. Now, this property will be seized, or will be seized by the Federal Government of Nigeria. Of course, have a right to either, auction it, or if they found out that there is mortgage running on the property, they release it for whoever the mortgagor is, or the mortgagee. Tinubu could also have a right to also acquire this property upon being released back to the bank. Now, the whole activity around this property is still not clear as to whether it was actually seized by Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if it is mortgage, then you cannot be talking of corruption, because mortgage system has to go with its monthly remittance or yearly remittance, as the case may be. So, in essence, what I'm trying to say is that whatever due diligence they must have taken, Bloomberg, being a company, have a right to invest in properties. As you know, Nigerians and all other countries all over the world today, properties are more lucrative in business, and people invest in it not to live, but of course to keep and buy and make money.
Right.
I can also You cannot say that the $11 million or pounds, as the case may be, is a proceed that, that is coming from one person. So what I'm trying to let you know is that in any business transaction we are doing, it has its own aim and objective.
All right, let's wind down on this. Again, Bloomberg is an organization that published a report that the company in question that purchased the property from that report is Aranda. But what kind of impact do you see this having on, well, the image of the president-elect, the swearing-in, which is expected in less than a month away? With this kind of report, what kind of impact do you see it having on his image and, of course, the swearing-in? And his administration as a whole, I should add.
Yes. I can hear you. Please, can you just...
Oh, my question is pretty straightforward. I'm asking that what kind of impact do you see this report that was just released, what kind of impact do you see it having on the image of the president-elect, the swearing-in, which is coming, and, of course, his administration?
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe that this should affect any swearing or should have any image to affect anything. Sorry. Because Tinubu is an individual. He's the son of the president-elect. He's an adult. He's not a minor. And so whatever he does, is different from the president-elect. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is different from Tinubu. So please, what I'm trying to let you know is that we cannot link this alongside any of the activity of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. His son is different from himself. And so whatever his son does, to the best of my knowledge, that is why he's answering Tinubu. And the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is also answering that.
In cases like this, in other climes, there's the Hunter Biden case, for example, is a major reference point. But in terms of how Nigerians receive this, the anti-graft stance of this current administration and, in fact, international perception, because Bloomberg said that he actually bought that property cash down. So does that bother you in any way with that quantum of cash?
Now, Bloomberg is a company. Like I said, it's a company. And it is not only Tinubu that is a major stakeholder in that company. Tinubu could also have facilitators, contributors within the company to have bought that property. That's why I say it could be a pool, a system whereby you pull resources together to acquire a property for purposes. So for now, it's still not verifiable. I could not have said, Tinubu has not told you that he is the owner of the money, the entire money used in buying the property. So I feel that we should concentrate more on the facts that is verified, not.
All right. Well, these issues are actually there, and Nigerians will naturally ask the question because that's what governance is about.